look at this close. This is what we've been waiting for. You're finally starting to see fear. Okay, everybody, let's just jump right into it. So this is the cues. This is what happened today. We got absolutely decimated from the 337 level, which was the open, all the way. We had a little pop over, and then we just broke right down to this 324.59 level, which is where you closed. Now, if you look at that level and you're trying to find some support on it, this is where you're at. 324.59, bonk, bonk, bonk. You can see these areas all in here and how this area was important. What I think we are setting up for is an event. I think we're setting up for a waterfall. Now, if you count to the top of 350 to the count of 324, that would get us a decent sized move. Now let's take a look at that move. From the top of this all the way to here is 6 and let's call it 6 3/4%. So you would move this down and you'd move this to 6 3/4% because what you're doing is you're measuring the difference in this gap right here. And from that peak down is going to give you an estimate on where you can get to. That gets you to about 300, which is fairly realistic to see that this could drop another 7-8%. We dropped, I think it was, the record now is 3.5% on the day. That's what they're showing it at. And it looks awful. I mean, there's no way to say it. You can put in the indicators, but there's no way to say this. I mean, it looks absolutely awful. And I don't see anything redeeming about this. So you have to go on the assumption that this is going to break and it's going to walk us down. And that puts us right around where major support is now, which is 300. So this is the level that I think you could get to. Now, I think you can get there fast. Okay, I do. I think you can get there really fast. I think it could happen in a couple days. We're getting to the point where we're going to start seeing capitulation. And I'll show you that at the end. Let's just go through a couple of the ideas. So this is one that was in the top 10 for the week. If you don't subscribe to the channel, I'd strongly recommend that you do it. What we do is everything is pretty timely, as you probably have noticed if you've been following along. But look at this 48.13 level. You broke over that. All you're looking for tomorrow is a higher high, 49.09. You can either go long this or short TQQ, but get over that level, and getting up to this 52.53 looks like a lock. These are short-term trades. You're going to have to be quick. Now, this is one that from the newsletter, and there'll be a link in the description for the newsletter, and you can follow along. We've been in since 48. It's breaking out. Look at this close. Okay, this is an all-time high close on the SARC, which is the short ETF of the ARK fund. So I don't see any reason why you're not getting up here. But again, all you want to do is just use 55.40. If you break that, risk on, put the trade on, see how it trades up. And then you're going to have to watch it during the day because you're not going to really want to use 51 as a stop. So you're going to have to play with it a little bit, but this is what you're setting up for. We could actually break out of these and head up to the top of this range, which is right here. So getting up to this 58 tomorrow is not unrealistic at all. Now, this is another one from the top 10. We broke, it picked a direction. I don't see any reason why this is not going into the low 30s. There is literally no support for Rivian whatsoever. Once you break this 50, these types of charts, they're really very common. And people keep asking me to point out patterns, and I really appreciate the comments. The more comments I get, the better I can make these videos, so please make sure you comment. But people always ask me about the pattern recognition since I brought it up. But look here, once this broke 33.35, that was it, straight down. Why? Because there's no support. Nobody is left here to defend it, and then you just continually trade down, right? It's not a valuation issue anymore. It's just a supply issue. Nobody wants to own it. So all you're looking for again tomorrow is just 42.28. Get below that, and I still think you're heading to this 34.5 level fairly quickly. Now, NVIDIA was another one that was in the top 10. We talked about it at 225, but this is far from over. Now, right now you're at 213. You're trading down a little bit after hours, but look how you're just sitting here. Triple bottoms are extremely rare, okay? And this was 1, 2, 3. Quadruple bottoms, frankly, they don't exist. So this, I'm looking for this to slice that 213 tomorrow. As soon as you slice that, risk on, trades on, right? And then you have to watch this level closely, and you have to look at short-term trading, because tomorrow's going to be extremely volatile on both sides of the market. But when you break this, okay, and you don't want to chase anything if you gap down, remember that. But if you break this, you could see 195 fast. You could see this level really fast. So just keep that in mind, right? You don't want to be doing the short when you're at 204. You want to be doing the short at the right spot. Makes all the difference. Now, this is one people scoffed at when I said it was getting to 550. I still think we're getting closer to that 350 range that I talked about, which gets me more to that. I have it marked at 325, but I'm looking more like 350. And the reason being, if you look at the measurement from 708 to 560 and you follow that down, from here. And let's just follow this gap down to here. That gets me a 20% gap roughly. Now, if you take that gap down from that level and you drop it here, and you just, all we're doing are measured move, okay? That's going to get me another 100 points of drop from here. That puts me at 460 just to start. Now, if you look at this and you look at CHOP on a monthly basis and you start looking for support levels, well, you're through them. You're really getting through them, and you're at 413, 409 before the next one. Now, if that breaks, you're going to start looking at the underside of moves like this. Now, I don't know that you see 281, but for us to see 409 or something in between here in the threes is not unrealistic. So again, I'm looking as if we're going to see some kind of waterfall event. I really think you need to pay attention to this. This is the VIX. Look at this on the daily, okay? Look at this close. This is what we've been waiting for. You're finally starting to see fear. Everything's starting to sell down. You know, two signs to look for. Your advancers decline, right? When you start getting 8 to 1, 9 to 1, 10 to 1 declines versus advancers, you're getting to capitulation. When this gets over 40, you're getting to capitulation. Use both of those as a guide, and you can see this pretty clearly here, right? This was October. If you go look at the S&P, you'll see that that's exactly lined up, right, for where we got to a point where the bottom was put in. And that's what you're looking for. You're looking for patterns, and you're looking for things that you can identify as patterns and then make money off of.